Thanks for stopping by. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh well, here we are in the hog days of summer, August 2024. Yeah, we've had a typical summer here in Phoenix, but I'll tell you, it wasn't as brutal as last year. So, a couple more months and we'll be doing well here. All right. Well, I was sitting around, I was thinking, I got all these records to show. I better do a video. It's been a while. So that's what's up for today. And now what was on the turntable, that was a local Phoenix guy from the early 80s. And his name is Jack Alves. And he put out a recording on this KUPD radio sampler from Phoenix. And this is considered the best Arizona radio station comp that there is. This is pretty damn good. I've seen copies sell for over $50, so not easily found either. So yeah, the side one, it's all mainstream rock, and side two is early new wave, and very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool. Alright. Let's get going with the showing. First up, this is a band I think you'll know. And this is Starship by the MC5. This is from 1998, previously unreleased material. Came out on Total Energy label. And it was recorded at the Sturgis Armory in Michigan on June 27th, 1968. So it predates the Kick Out the Jams album by a few months. And it's got some material on here that they never really put out on any of their records. There's a 3-song James Brown medley. And then there's the track Upper Egypt and Black to Calm. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. It says it was transferred from the original master tapes. I don't think the recording equipment was all that good, because the sound on this is definitely not top notch. Once you start listening to it, your ears get accustomed to it. It's like a good bootleg, basically. But yeah, the performance is stellar, so very, very cool. And that's an OG. I got that in the bins used. This one I got out of the discount bin. It was brand new, and they were trying to liquidate it, so I got it for half price. And I've seen it shown a couple of times, I think, in the VC. And I sampled it on the beginning of one of my videos, maybe like 3 videos back. I sampled the title track. It's the Royal Air Coach, Open Up Your Mind. This is very cool, previously unreleased acid rock. Sunday's put it out. And it's all previously unreleased, except for 2 tracks that came out on their only single. It's on baby blue vinyl. And yeah, pretty damn cool. These guys were out of the Massachusetts area. Okay, this next one is a garage comp that came out around 2001. And you might be familiar with this series. It's Fuzz, Flakes, and Shakes. And picked up this OG copy used in the bins. And the cool thing about it, it's got a couple of Phoenix bands on this. These cats on the front cover are the Topsy Turbies. And check out those threads, man. total Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs going on there. But they put out 245s that are highly sought after. They go for good money. You know, very rare. I've never seen one. But very, very cool. And Donna Seuss did put out this 4-song EP of both of their 45s, all 4 tracks. So that's cool. So I guess there was a guy associated with this band. He had this brainstorm that he wanted to, you know, since the Beatles marketed Beatle wigs, he wanted to market topsy-turvy turbans to the fans, if you can believe that. But another band on here is the Bittersweets. There's the label right there. That's their second single, second local Phoenix single here. And that band would eventually become 20th Century Zoo and go into a more heavy acid rock sound. And they had one album on the Vault label. Okay, this next one is an album that Psychedelic recently reviewed. He's been doing Acid Archives album reviews. And I think this is his most recent review that he did. And it's for the album The Surprise Package, and the name of the album is Free Up. This is a good record. It's very short though, and it's you know, psych rock. I'd say the major thing about it I don't like is there's one long track on side 2. You know, they're definitely getting into that Vanilla Fudge, Iron Butterfly, that vibe on that track. And there's a drum solo, and this album isn't very long to begin with. It's like 30 minutes long, and to put a drum solo in this, I don't think it was if they did do it, it should have been shorter. But, you know, I guess they needed to fill up the album. But this has come out on the Lee Hazelwood label. Lee Hazelwood Industries label. So yeah, it's the interesting thing is, you know, Derek talked about, there isn't a whole lot of information about that band online yet. There's some, but this album came with a insert that has a 21 question interview with the lead singer Rob Lowery. So that's pretty cool, and he reveals a lot of information about, you know, the band and everything. And I guess the band didn't really like the idea of having Lee Hazelwood produce their album because they felt that he wasn't hip enough. He didn't know the type of music well enough to produce this type of band. He was more pop, but I think he did an okay job. But yeah, it's, you know, this band, you know, Derek didn't talk about this, but this band actually came out of 2 Northwest bands, the Galaxies and the Viceroys. So Rob, he was in the Galaxies, and they had a few singles up in Washington, and one of their 45s came out on Etiquette, you know, the same label that put out the Sonics and the Wailers and all that. And then the other 3 guys were in the Viceroys. And the Viceroys had an album in '63 called The Viceroys at Granny's Pad. And it was all early garage instrumentals, which was very popular at the time period. And I had this 45 that came out from that album, which actually came out in early '64. And the name of the song is Dartel Stomp. Now, you can listen to that song on YouTube. Just look up Dartel Stomp, the Viceroys. This song sounds so much like the Seeds' Mr. Farmer. It's just, I think the Seeds ripped these guys off. I really do, because it's got the organ, it's got the riff, you know, it's got the whole thing going on. But yeah, this is instrumental. But yeah, it's cool. And Old Bo at Earhead 6 sent me this years and years ago. Alright. Besides the insert with the interview, the album had this little outer strip on it with a little bio about Lee Hazelwood, which is kind of odd, but that's what they did. The sound quality is fantastic. It was remastered from the original master tapes. It's the first vinyl reissue, and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, I was able to pull this out of the discount bin for 20 bucks brand new, so that was a good deal because they were going for like 38 bucks originally. Okay, this next one, these guys were out of New Mexico, and it's The Crawling Walls. This is their only record, Inner Limits, from 1985 on the Vox label. It has custom Vox labels, which is pretty cool. And this isn't like pure garage rock 60s revival. It's like they took a little bit of the 60s sound and blended it with more of an 80s garage sound. So they combined the two into each recording. And it's pretty cool. I'd rate it about 3 stars. But check this cover out by Sloan. Fantastic. Now I have a couple more album covers that Sloan did. And one of them is Pebbles 14. And the other one is Plan 9, Dealing with the Dead. So very cool, man. Now I've never read this guy's wiki, but I think he might have originated this style of art. I know I've seen a lot of copycats, but I think this guy is the original, but I could be wrong. Okay, this next one is it's actually a UK reissue of this album on the Big Beat label, which Big Beat was known for re-releasing stuff. You know, they didn't sign new artists, as far as I know. And it's the legendary Stardust Cowboy, Rocket to Stardom. This is an 85 UK reissue of his US 1984 album. And the cool thing about this is it's got 2 bonus tracks that aren't on the US album, which is Peppermint Piston Rings and Bathroom Blues. This guy was out of Texas, and he's like really out there, kind of weird psychobilly type stuff. And he's mainly known for the track Paralyzed from the mid-70s. But the cool thing about this is it's autographed. It was like 15 bucks, which is the value of the album, so I basically got the autograph for free. And I'll show you the autograph. So cool. I did some research on his nickname's The Ledge, okay? I don't know how I got that name, but I did some research on The Ledge's autographs. You know, I looked up Legendary Stardust Cowboy, Google Images. None. None whatsoever. Then I went to popsite.com. I found one album of his that sold that was signed. The signature matched up to this one. So I'm pretty sure it's legit. It sounds like this guy doesn't sign. Either he doesn't sign or everybody's hoarding their autographs. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I was glad to get that. Okay, this next one is a repress of the second New York Dolls album, In Too Much Too Soon. Very cool. Not quite as good as the first album, but it's still pretty strong. It's on the Skyscraper label. The originals have the custom New York Dolls labels. So yeah, clean copy, sounded great, so I'm happy with it. Okay, this next one is a 60s OG Proxy album, and this is their only album, and it's the Masters of Deceit, and it's on the Vanguard label. Came out in '69, and the name of the album is Hensley's Electric Jazz Band and Synthetic Symphonette. This is a pretty damn strong album. It's a mixture of prog and psych and a little teensy bit of jazz thrown in there, here and there, but not very much. And yeah, it rates pretty high. I mean, it's up there, you know, between 3.5 and 4 stars for sure. I think if they would have had a better singer, the album would rate even higher. He was okay, I've heard worse, but he's not that great. So yeah, very cool album. And here's another 60s OG that I got. And I used to have this a long time ago, probably around 1990-ish. And for some reason I got rid of it. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to trade for something else that I wanted. I don't know. But it's an awesome album, and I really regretted getting rid of it because I couldn't find one. Well, you know, I could have gone online and gotten one, but Time, Smooth Ball. This is a clean copy too. I was very pleased to get this. So awesome album. Rates probably better than Masters of Deceit, but it still rates about in that same rating range. Up towards 4 stars. Way better than their first album. So on Liberty. This band is related to Steppenwolf. The first album featured Nick St. Nicholas, who would later move on to Steppenwolf. And in his place, they got Richard Tepp. Now Richard Tepp is the Richard of the garage band Richard and the Young Lions, and he actually sings 2 songs on here, both on side 1, and they're both together, which is cool. See Me As I Am and I Think You'd Cry. And See Me As I Am is a very cool psychedelic trippy song with treated vocals, and this is just such a really good album. It's got blazing guitar work on here by Larry Byron, who would later go on to join a later version of Steppenwolf. He's on the Monster album. So yeah, very, very cool, man. So glad to get this. And incidentally, all the albums that I'm showing right now are all Los Angeles albums. So cool. This next one is a reissue that I got in the discount bin, brand new, and they marked it down to $5.99. It's the Zoo presents Chocolate Mousse. This is a good record. You know, it's heavy psych rock, but it's so damn short. I mean, it's barely over 25 minutes long, I think. It is short, but the music's good. It's on. This came out on the. I think this is a record store day release, and you know, I've always seen it in the bin. I think the price on it was $20, but they finally marked it down, and I got it for $6. It's on spearmint green vinyl, which is nice color. Real Records, heavy duty 180 gram vinyl. So this band is notable for featuring Howard Leese, who would later become the guitarist in Heart. And there's also their drummer on here, Mike Flicker. He would also joined Heart in the 80s. So, yeah, produced by Ed Cobb. You know, I'm sure a lot of you know that guy. So, yeah, cool record, 1968. Never seen an OG of that, though. This next one is Peasley Underground, and it's the Long Riders 10560. This is a mini album that came out in 1983, and this is their very first record that they issued. It's on the PVC label. Good stuff here. And it's kind of interesting, when this band was first formed, Steve Wynn was a band member. And he would leave really early on before this record and go on to form Dream Syndicate. But yeah, cool record. Okay, speaking of Dream Syndicate, I got Out of the Gray, which is the third album from 1986. This is decent. It's like a 3-star record. By this time they had got Paul B Cutler on guitar, and you might know him. He was in 45 Grave, and but even way before that, in the 70s, he was in a punk rock band here in Phoenix called The Consumers, and this come out on Into the Red Records years ago. Previously unreleased material, recorded in the late 70s, and this is just really good. If you don't know this, check it out. Here's a picture of the band on the back, and Paul is right over here, right there. You see his profile. So yeah, I saw these guys on this tour here in Phoenix in a small club, and pretty cool.